Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Phillies' dominance continues with a sweep of the defending champion Texas Rangers. The Phils are off to the best start of a season in the team's history. Trey Turner may be back sooner than expected. They'll look to keep the wins coming on the West Coast against the Rockies and Giants. Michkov Mania continues to heat up as more reports out of Russia indicate the star prospect is in negotiations to terminate his KHL contract and continue his career in Philly starting next season. Is it time to get our hopes up? And how does this change the Flyers' rebuilding outlook? The Eagles begin OTAs, Devontae Parker announces his retirement, John Ross comes out of retirement to sign with the Birds. Tyrese Maxey takes home the Sportsmanship Award but misses out on All-NBA. What's the latest on the Sixers' potential offseason targets? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Pretty amazing, I'm not gonna lie. It's finally a beautiful week here in Philadelphia. I mean, it started off a little rainy, so the plants loved it in the morning, but then it got nice and warm out, sunshine. Philly's got a nice little wind. It's kind of like, I got off tomorrow, so it's like my Friday, before Memorial Day weekend, looking somewhat on the more drier side of a Memorial Day weekend, which is nice for a change. So yeah, I can't really complain at all, to be honest.
Pretty amazing. Wow.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd go that far.
Have you ever had that? Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely can't say that. I got these damn ants in my house.
Nah, the ants are ants. You know what I mean? That's
What do you mean,
the name.
the ants?
That's the name of the
Ants.
game. It's that time of year.
No, it isn't.
It's better than a cockroach.
Dude, I had this giant roach in my basement a couple weeks ago.
One.
It was like as big as my finger. It's huge. Like this is as big as as long as my index finger.
He said
It was
wait.
large. But
Yeah, they
anyway,
get big.
no, I don't play with these ants, man. I don't have time for that.
Fuck these ants.
I get out of the shit. They're in my bathroom.
Oh,
So I get out of the shower. I see ants. I take a pee. I see ants. I'm doing a number 2. I see ants.
you gotta start peeing on them.
Here's how bad it is. I grab the mouthwash, and because that's like a sweet substance,
They're in the mouthwash.
they're on it.
Oh.
So I open
Alright.
the mouthwash.
That
I start
Listerine.
swishing the Listerine around, and I see ants on my fingers.
You ever respect an ant that likes to take a shower, pee, poop, and do their teeth like that?
Yeah,
with the
they're
mouthwash?
clean ants.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least they're not dirty. They're not by the trash. They're just trying to be
Oh, they're
clean.
by the trash downstairs too. They're all up in my business.
That's them dirty ants. But you got the nice clean ants
There's
upstairs
some
at least.
grungy ants. No, I don't got
Well, I
no
don't
time.
have
They
that.
have a class system with the ants.
Yeah, they're the second floor ants. The first floor ants.
Yeah, they're upper middle class, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
the true upper class
All
are the
kinds
ones that
of
get to
ants.
chill in the colony.
That's true.
It's like these are the worker ants. These are the plebeians. They're the working class dogs, dude. You
The
think
work-
I would respect them?
The worker ant though that takes the mouthwash,
The
they're getting a
worst.
little buzz. They're like, damn, this shit's hitting right now.
Yeah, they
they're
probably
chilling. Yeah,
Yeah, what do you think would happen if I poured a little 99 bananas on an ant?
that's that liquid lunch ant. They're having a good time. They're having an amazing week.
Yeah,
When I
that's
see
a
them
very
start stumbling
sweet
around.
liquor. They'll probably.
Yeah.
I don't know how
They probably
ants-
get alcohol
How good
poisoning.
ants are
I don't know if they got livers like
processing
Yeah,
alcohol.
they can't handle it.
that. They probably can because they don't have. Well, no, they probably can. I don't know. I mean, you ever see the movie Ants?
Yeah,
They got a bar in that. They drink.
that's true. Yeah, I mean, a beer is one thing.
And they
There's a
dance.
documentary.
99
Yeah.
bananas is another thing, though.
They were doing the cha-cha. They were like, dun, 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 dun,
They were
doing their little
the
thing.
cha-cha slide.
Yeah,
Like,
they were chilling.
yo, hold
First
up.
floor ants, they're just eating dirt. They're the colony. They're just getting food for the crib. They're like, we got to go back to these little larvae. We're doing our job. Second floor ants, they're just like, yeah, we'll be there in a minute. Taking a shower, taking a shit, brushing their teeth.
Shaving, I guess, maybe, possibly.
They're chilling.
Whatever, man. I don't got time for these ants.
Not I. The plants look good out front. No ants yet in sight, knock on
You're
wood.
good.
Basil's looking nice and fresh.
You power wash your yard yet?
Power wash the
Yeah, I
back.
gotta get the power washer.
You gotta
Yeah,
go
I
to
gotta
Kelly
get the
now.
power
Kelly had
washer
it.
too,
Yeah,
man.
well,
I
Kelly
gotta
got
hit
it
her
back.
up. Okay, I'll have to hit her up.
Shout out if you ever need a power washer, Kelly Nolan.
Yeah, former guest
yeah.
of the show has a power.
She's the one.
She
that,
won't
she's the
power
plug.
wash your yard for you. Let's not get
Oh
that
yeah,
twisted.
no, it's not a service. It's
She
a
will
rental.
lend you her power
Yes.
washer,
Right.
kind of like how
Although she may, we never really talked about deals that way. She could maybe
she ain't
for the
doing that.
You never know.
Yeah.
It's a fun thing to do. I would power wash
I mean,
your
yeah.
guys' backyard.
Why
for
would you
like
want
50
anyone to do
bucks.
that for you? That's the
That
whole
is-
point.
yeah,
You
it is
get
fun.
to see all that grime just wipe right off.
Our backyard was.
I'm excited.
Green.
Mine's been needing it for like 2 summers. I've been talking about it, and I just never get around to it.
Yeah, mine ain't doing too
Hell
great.
yeah.
But yeah, not a bad day. And a big weekend coming up, which is always nice.
Coming off a nice weekend.
Yeah. Oh, coming off a
Saturday,
very good weekend.
Saturday, we went to Buck City, dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Giddy up.
Yeah.
That cowboy hat.
Tony.
That shit had me on a different level.
Italian Market Fest.
Cha-cha.
Cha-Cha. Shout out to Cha-Cha, a character we all met in line. Well, I met in line for the bathroom.
Assuming that's her name.
I don't think that's...
She
I
said
don't think we will ever know her true identity.
she gave us a name, and we said, wait, that's your name? Then she goes, yeah, you can call me Cha-Cha. We're like, all right, well, we could do that. That's fine.
Sure.
And
man.
a true South Philadelphian, or maybe Jersey. I don't really know where she's from.
I think she was from here.
I think she just kind of just...
I mean, it's all relative at the end of the day. South Jersey, South Philly, it's all the same.
She was nuts.
Yeah, comes up from the bar, comes outside of the bar talking about, what was she saying?
She just took a mean shit.
But like,
There
was more to it than that though, right?
I had met her in line.
Didn't she say something about like not wiping? She said something about wiping or not wiping.
No, she takes the toilet paper out of the thing because she got caught stealing the toilet paper.
She much.
Yeah, she said, "I need that." She was nuts. She was crazy. Cha-Cha didn't play. Also, though, I will say one of the true, just most genuinely herself kind of people. She didn't give a fuck who was listening or what she was saying. She was gonna say it, and she said it with conviction. You're like, all right, well, I mean, I don't disagree with you. I don't know why we have to get to this point, but that's fine. Whatever.
Nah, she was extremely Philly.
Yeah.
But here's the deal, right? She fell in love with me.
Big time.
But I should have never spoke up because she was, I guess maybe Hannah was giving her a hard time for talking about pooping. Well, someone was giving her a hard time, or maybe she was...
We tried to cut it down because she kept going with it a lot, which is fine. I respect the poop chat. Everybody poops. No big deal. But this woman took it to a level of like...
Too into
she
it.
was ready to go to the next bar because she had never shit in there. She was like, I can't wait to shit in this bar. While smoking a cig, stains all up on her dress.
Check it off the list.
Yeah, her sister was in like a sundress, like looking decently.
Her sister had stains too, though.
Well, she's wearing a white dress at the Italian Fest in the rain. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But her next objective, we couldn't tell if it was to go to the bar to get a beer or to go to the bar to
It was
shit
to go to
in
the
there.
saloon
To
blow that bathroom up.
Saloon. I've never been to the saloon.
Me neither. I hear it's banging, though. We should have all gone with Cha-Cha. She invited us.
They better have good pipes.
Yeah,
That's a big woman.
She probably clogged that joint, dude.
Yeah. Kelsey retired. We had a new center right there.
She wasn't that large.
We doing the tush push. She would love the tush push, actually.
Oh man, she would like some action.
Yeah, but
what'd she say? You ever drive with?
You ever drive down Lincoln Drive with a boy?
I don't know what that. It's like maybe.
Every open up his mouth,
Technically?
she was like, "You could drive me anywhere you want."
Yeah, what'd she say? She was like, "Yeah, you seem like a good driver."
Yeah,
it's like, "Oh, you're giving me too much credit," and she's just like, "Oh, his voice, I can't."
Yeah.
He
said,
"Good lord, yo."
Damn, she was nuts.
Oh my god.
Cha-Cha, if you're out there listening, if you picked up anything we said, please be a guest.
Yeah, you and the short man from Lucky 13.
Yeah.
The two staples of this year's South Philly Street Festival season.
So far,
please come on.
Two for
the
two
characters out there.
2 for 2. It did not miss either one.
Yeah.
No.
Imagine Cha-Cha sitting here, the little man. Yeah, he could sit on your lap. Yeah, or he could sit on the table.
He repeats what she says. He's like, "Yeah, yeah. You ever drive like a drive with a boy?
Yeah, you ever drive like a drive?" Oh my god, I can't even keep together thinking about these people, man. South Philly, what a great place.
Man, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
And you really can't beat it. I don't know what we want to jump into yet.
Let's jump into the Phils.
You can't beat it when the Phillies are hot.
Cannot
this
beat
early.
the Phils.
We didn't even hit hitting season yet.
It's absurd.
We're getting there, but we didn't even get to what we thought was going to be our main swing. No pun intended.
Dude, it's absurd how good they are. It's like they get down 3 runs. I'm like, yeah, they're fine.
They're chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, probably this time last year, it was like the exact opposite. If they go down early, it's like, well, this is going to be torture to try to come back. But yeah, I mean, really nothing to complain about. They're killing it.
Plus, last year, I feel like when they were in close games, even against bad teams, you always had that, like, the Braves were above your head. We're like, oh, we're 5 behind the Braves, and the Braves are on like an 8-game win streak. You know, we're playing the Marlins for a series, and then we're playing the Nationals, so we have a chance to actually get some stuff done. And they would lose not only the series, but sometimes they would get swept by a bad team. You know, you would go play Baltimore, and like before they got hot this year, early last year, you would get swept or lose the series 2-1. So you're like, now you're 6 games behind after that series. So they were always not only looking at the team ahead, but looking at the Braves above them. Where now, not only are they in a comfortable position at the top of the division, you know what I mean, but they're beating teams that they either A, should beat when they're bad, or finding ways to beat good teams as well. I mean, people can talk about, oh, they haven't played a team above 500, this and that, and that's fine, but it's the beginning of the season. Everybody's trying to figure themselves out. There's only really 4 or 5 teams right now that have 30-plus wins. You know, the Dodgers, us, the Yankees.
I think the Orioles. Teams in the NL above 500, including the Phillies.
Right, and like to Avery's point last week, half the teams we played when we started the series were right around 500 or like a game above.
The Rangers were right at 500 going into the series, and now they're 3 games below 500.
Also, man, like, not for nothing, but it's the defending champs.
Yeah,
right?
I mean,
so even if they're under 500, they have a championship pedigree as recently as 6 months
they have
ago.
Good players.
And you know the Phillies in the back of their head are like, we should have been the ones playing the Rangers.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
You know, and also behind that, they hadn't beaten the Rangers in 14 years.
Yeah, I think it was 10, but
to start.
Still.
No, I think the
last time they won was 2014.
Okay, so 10 years, whatever it was. I had that was 14 in there somewhere. But still, I mean, that's a wild, you know. And that we were at, I don't know. Again, I do this all the time too, but I don't know if you were at Brothers too, or maybe it was just me, Hannah, or somebody. But we watched the first game against the Rangers. Maybe it was Mir, and they were winning that game to start the season in Texas, and then they lost. But yeah, man, they're getting shit done, and they're winning with confidence.
Yeah, and they're getting contributions from everybody. I mean, Trey Turner's been out this whole time. That was a guy, he was batting what, like 330 something, 340. Like he was crushing it. He goes down. Edmundo Sosa comes in. He's been killing it. I mean, it's just they don't skip a beat. Like all these guys are.
Check out Edmundo Sosa's slash line, after today's game. He's batting .323. His on base percentage is .417. He's slugging .548.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me Edmundo Sosa has an OPS of .965? Edmundo Sosa?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's wild,
Put on those red pinstripes. You just become an all-star. It's how it works now.
The tail end of the lineup gets on base, and that's all we wanted. At the beginning of the year.
Pache had the R2 triple today.
Yeah, even he's been doing good.
At the top of before the season started, we knew that like a big thing about this team was going to be a hot start. Granted, we didn't think it was going to be a quote-unquote historical start, which it has turned out to be, but we just figured, be a game or 2 behind the Braves, make it a fight, or be a game or 2
just
above.
Don't bury yourself the first couple months of the season.
I don't think anybody could have predicted the way that the team's been hitting, whether it's home runs, getting on base, just winning games that way, and in tandem with the bullpen being as hot as it is, as consistent as it has been. I mean, you're having a double-edged sword in the team right now. Or even, we haven't had to see this in a while, where like we haven't seen them egg out a close, 2-0 game or 2-1 game. It's usually 6-7-5 or whatever. Like they pop off in the 8th inning or pop off.
They're scoring runs late.
Once the other team gets deep in their bullpen, it pops off.
Yeah.
Which we haven't seen since maybe the 2011 Phillies, 2012 Phillies, when they were, hitting balls left and right, getting on base, doing their thing. It's a great time to be a Phillies fan. Now, can they keep it going? We'll see, but I think right now, they're firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, so a couple crazy stats, right? They haven't lost on consecutive days in literally a month.
Yeah.
30 days ago. This is the last time they lost consecutive games. They lost 2 games in a row to the Reds. Since then, they are 21-4, I believe, right? And without Trey Turner, they're 15-3. They're 17-3 the month of May because he played a couple games.
Speaking of 17-3 the month of May, it's the best. It's a top 3 in terms of the best winning percentage in a month in May. in I don't know how many years. I mean, everything they say is almost 50 to 100 years.
Yeah, it's all.
But
like,
we're the best National League team to do it ever. The other two are the Yankees and the Philadelphia Athletics.
Yeah.
The Phillies are doing shit that like nobody in at least modern era baseball has done in a minute.
Dude, this other stat. They scored 4 or more runs in 13 straight games. It's their longest such streak since April 27th to May 11th, 2004.
Yeah, I mean,
So that 2004 team, like, this was 20 years ago, but like you have Jimmy Rollins in his prime.
Right.
Yeah.
Bobby Abreu. Pat Burrell was good back then. You know what I'm saying? I think that was Chase Utley's rookie year.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that team could rake. And, like, that's a different era of baseball where teams
Jim
generally...
Thome, yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Thome was on that
Yeah.
squad. Yeah, that team could hit.
Probably Lieberthal.
Yeah, that Leroy.
Yeah.
He had a
Come on
career
now.
year in 2004.
Yeah.
I remember that. So that was a great team, and I mean they're just doing it on the regular, like it's just clockwork.
What's their run differential at right now? It's got to be something kind of crazy.
I mean, after this series, you got to be out the water.
I think I looked earlier, plus 90 something.
Damn, yeah.
It's tops in baseball. The Yankees aren't too far behind them.
No, the Yankees are clean. Like, there's
The
teams
Yankees are
out
doing
there.
good.
The Yankees, the Dodgers, like, yeah, there's other teams that are. We're only really like, if you take out the end, like our division, you know, the top of the league in general, they're all within 4 or 5 games. Like, we're 37. I think the Yankees are at 34 wins. So, like, we're all right there. But I think that we've been waiting so long. I mean, over the last maybe, 3 or 4 years since we first got Harper and built this team up, we had expectations for them to be a dominant team. But it's the best. Obviously, it has been historically the best start they've had ever as a franchise. But it's good to finally see them start hot. I mean, a team in Philadelphia hasn't been this hot baseball-wise in years. Even when we had Utley and Rollins, like, they don't usually start off like...
Yeah, even those teams would have to sort of make a big run at the end of the season to...
You're like within a 3-game, like you take the lead.
The 2011 team didn't, but the other teams did.
Right.
The 2011 team was like this, where it was just...
Yeah, where you just expect to win every night. Yeah,
right.
yeah.
I don't expect to win these games, but to your point, Avery, you're like, you don't feel stressed at all.
Mm-mm.
You know, you just feel like they're going to find a way to pull this out. Once that starter goes down for the other team, we're going to find a way to rake or at least get on base. You know, the only thing I will say that could use improvement is their base running a little bit. I think that sometimes they get a little too greedy
they do
with
some
stealing
dumb stuff,
you know, where they assume that they'll get there again, and you never can, you know, assume that when you're playing baseball that way. But some of the steals and some of the, you know, trying to get to second, trying to get home, trying to get to third, like that extra run.
It kind of just, you get the sense that they sort of feel invincible and they're just like,
right.
Can't
which
lose.
Is
I'm
fine.
going for that extra base, which I kind of like, but sometimes it's going to burn you.
The bullpen's also pitched. They've also faced the least amount of batters in any team in the MLB.
The starters are going 7 innings,
right?
like almost every game.
Even the bullpen too. You're seeing, like, if you're a mid-round reliever and I'm the closer, we're seeing 3 guys, maybe 4, and that's it. You're not seeing, like, you know, Hoffman or whoever face 8 guys in an inning. You know, you're seeing them
facing 3, 4 guys. Yep.
They're doing just enough to keep their arms fresh, which is huge, especially when your 3 aces still. Granted, there's no way. I don't see how these 3 guys still keep this up all season. I'd imagine after the All-Star break, you might see a little decline in that. They might not, but I think that you have to anticipate that, and the fact that your whole bullpen is healthy and hasn't seen a lot of guys yet is good.
Well, that's what the starters have said. The starters, I think Aaron Nola's on record of saying, like, yeah, we need to, as starters, our job is to go deep into the game because we need to keep our bullpen fresh for when it matters in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, the regular season is important, but this team, Harper alluded to something similar. He said something to the effect of, we just need to be consistent in the regular season so that we go into the playoffs with momentum when it matters. Not to say that the regular season is meaningless. Obviously, you need to win games to get home field advantage, but they have bigger things in mind this year, and it's been clear since day one. But like, I sat here before the season started and didn't think that they were going to get off to this good of a start. I thought they were going to regress a little bit, quite frankly. But clearly they've been on a mission since the day the season started, and they've been focused on it. What Topper say the other day, after the last night's game, they were like, some reporter said, this is the best start since the 0-1 Mariners. I forget what their record was after 50 games.
160, or I forget.
After 50 games, And then Topper goes, what'd they do?
Right, they didn't
Yeah, I was
win
gonna
shit.
say I don't want to hear any more about the 0-1 Mariners.
No.
Like,
or any 100-plus team.
yeah.
Even when we won.
I feel like a lot of those teams end up flaming out, like the Mets a couple years ago, the Braves.
Even look at the Padres 2 years ago when we played the Padres. They had 100-plus wins.
Yeah,
and we smoked their ass too. And so did the Braves. We beat 2 100-plus win teams as a 90 or sub 90 win team.
Yeah, we snuck in the last game of the season. So yeah,
and we haven't had. I don't think we've had home field advantage.
No, we
in the
haven't.
playoffs at all with Harper and all that.
No, we haven't.
So
yeah, regular season is important and all, but the team's just focused on bigger things. Not to say they couldn't care less because they understand they need to win these games, but they know that the big picture is winning a World Series.
I think even Turnbull said that too after the second Texans game, maybe the first Texans game when they won, or the Rangers game when they won that, when he was like, well, we didn't win anything. Like, we didn't do anything yet. We won. They keep referencing all these other teams, but he's like, yeah, but they all won World Series. He's like, nobody that you referenced that won all these games did anything yet. And I'm glad that they're all on the same page. Harper's like, I'm glad. I think it's the first year too that we've heard that when he's like, yeah, when the pitching core is doing that well, it energizes the offense, and you see that. They want to get on base. They want to score runs. They want to produce for this team. Look at today, Thursday at 1 o'clock. The place was almost sold out.
Yeah, like 42,000.
Yeah, I mean, they're playing. When they play like shit in the beginning of the season, you see that in the fans' attendance. Last year, people would have been already down the shore. They'd already been heading out. You had like a scrappy little crowd in there. But the fact that they're so hot right now against a great team, Texas Rangers are a good team. No knock on them. They played us, but hey, game's a game, baby. Shit happens. You guys fucking suck this week. But the fact that the fans show out like that, it's huge.
Yeah, and I think that the players can sense that too. I saw something a few of the players tweeted after the game today. You all showed out. Thanks so much for being here. We appreciate the support, all that stuff. It only motivates them to play better when they know that they're going to play in front of a packed house on a random, kind of rainy, at least started rainy day, a rainy Thursday in May.
And only gets more humid out like that on a day like today.
But no, man, things are going well. For the record, right now their run differential is plus 93.
Nice.
First in baseball.
Not too bad.
The Yankees are second at plus 84, and then the Dodgers third at plus 77. So their team's close, but hey, all that matters is we're first in our division, first in the NL. Just got to keep winning games. What else I got written down here? I guess these two things kind of go hand in hand, right? So does this remind you of the 2017 Eagles?
You know what's funny? And this is hysterical because I was outside earlier today after work at like 4 o'clock, 4:30, and somebody walked by with their dog with a Phillies hat. This guy lives on like around the corner. He has like a martini party every year just on his stoop. If you want to stop by, whatever.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But we always chit-chat about oh, go Phils, whatever. Like, never really get in depth. And today he was like, man, did you see that game? Like, yeah, it was, it was amazing. It's great to see them sweep the Rangers, all this stuff. And I was like, it reminds me of like when the Eagles played in 2017 where they could be down by 10 by halftime and you're in the fourth quarter, but you always thought in the back of your head, like, they're going to find a way to pull this game out. And they did, and they would go, and it's no matter who steps up to make the big play, no matter who's in there to do their thing, like, they just find a way to win. And it's funny that you say that because I literally just had that conversation just casually with a random person, and he was like, same thing. Everyone's got that same mentality right now. Yeah,
like I've seen people compare to the 2022 Eagles. But if you remember, the 2022 Eagles, a lot of those games weren't blowouts.
No.
A lot of those games were close. That Colts game.
Yep.
That was close, right? Like the
Houston game was close.
Yeah, the Houston game was close. What else we got?
I mean, the Jags
both
in the rain.
The one Cowboys game we lost.
Yep.
The Jags game was close. The other Cowboys game that we won against Ben DiNucci, I think it was.
Yeah,
that was low key kind of close. So yeah, I mean, 2017, if you remember, they would just blow teams out third, fourth quarter on most games. The starters are resting.
That was the best Carson Wentz you ever saw. That was it. But again, MVP caliber year. Mm-hmm. The defense also was better than the 2022 defense.
Yeah. Because
they would just either pick the ball off, get points on picks, fumble for a pick, or fumble for a run back. I mean, it was...
Yeah, strip sacks left and right. Yeah. This kind of reminds me of that, where it's like, the games get kind of boring sometimes. Like, I'm not taking this for granted at all. We, may never see a Phillies team this good again in our lifetime. we probably won't if we're being honest.
I mean, if they start referencing things that happened 100 years ago, we're never going to see a team do this. There's no the statistical odds of it happening are very slim. It could happen next year, but like there's no way they start this hot again next year.
But yeah, I mean,
it could. I mean, they're going to have a lot of these same guys back.
Yeah, the core is going to be back. They could,
but there's no way the pitching is the same good as it is.
Yeah, I mean, the line their opponents may not line up this way. The schedule may not line up this way.
They also have that fight in them right now. If they, let's say that everything goes well this year, they have the best record, they somehow win the World Series, that next year, it's a whole different mentality.
Complacency sets
this
in.
year, they're pissed off they lost to the fucking Diamondbacks, like, at
For sure.
at home.
Yeah.
You get that, come on now. Especially having a historically good home field advantage, that's a bad taste right there.
Yeah.
And they're showing it now where they're, it's just great. But yeah, man, that shit makes my nipples hard.
I mean, sometimes it does get boring, though. Like, how do I want to say this? When they're playing a team and they go up like 5 runs, I'm like, I don't even need to watch this anymore.
But there's no sense of complacency with this team. And if they are up by 5, they'll get 3 more.
Yeah.
Like, they don't stop. They might stop swinging for the fences, but they'll get on base, they'll steal, they'll get a guy in on a double, you get a little RBI double, no big deal. And then next thing you know, like, damn, it's 11-5 in the 8th inning. Like, all right, they'll go into the 8th inning up 7-5. You're like, an insurance run would be just enough. Yeah. And they'll get 4. You're like, all right, well, I feel good.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like, I don't even watch the full games half the time, unless they're close. If they're close, I watch them. But if it's a blowout, I'm like, I don't even need to watch this.
What else I got to bring up, and I feel like it's becoming a weekly thing, but fucking Ranger Suarez, dude.
Yeah, we do need to be talking about Ranger,
I had pretty fucking good seats to see him get all 10 of those
boy was
Ks.
on the TV.
Yeah, dude.
Let's say this. This is how dedicated
Diamond
the
Club,
pod
baby.
is. We had a man pretty much on the field
Trevor
the
was
whole
scouting.
game. Yeah,
they gave me the radar gun and everything.
What did you see?
What'd you like at him? What was his best pitch that you saw that you could see?
I don't
from that
know,
angle?
but it is crazy watching back there because you can really see the movement of the pitches and stuff. It's like it's fucking wild. It does like kind of make you be like, I don't know how the hell anyone hits a baseball. Like,
Yeah, for
sure.
It's the hardest fucking thing ever. But yeah, that was awesome. Diamond Club is sick. I just felt like after that game, I was like, I have to like figure out how to become a multi-millionaire so that I can
just sit
here all the time.
You just got to start getting company seats more and more.
It was like everyone around me just looked like a guy who owns a used car dealership and has a boat that they never use.
Hell yeah.
It was all those type of dudes. But,
we could see it. We're like, oh yeah, we know that.
You did kind of stick out like a sore thumb a little bit.
Because you were right by the logo too. It's like we're like the Comcast, NBC Sports, whatever. Yeah,
that was sick.
But yeah, man, Ranger Suarez.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. Yeah, he hits 10 Ks, and I was saw someone. I wish I remembered who it was that posted this Twitter thread about him, but kind of breaking down how he's been this good, and sometimes I mean. I don't necessarily think he's going to end the year with a sub-2 ERA, but a lot of what he's doing is kind of sustainable. I saw that he's benefited from a very low batting average on balls in play, which is typically an indicator that he's getting some luck. However, he has one of like the best ground ball rates in the league.
It's a lot of weak contact.
And he has, I think I saw that his average like exit velocity on this contact is like the lowest in the league. Mm-hmm. So... he's inducing a lot of weak contact, which, I'm sure there's going to be a game where he gets a bunch of ground balls that are just seeing eye and make it out, through the infield, and that shit's going to happen. But yeah, I mean, the process is sound. He should be able to keep doing what he's doing. Yeah.
I think, to your point, Aaron Nola, Matt Gelb had this really cool article for The Athletic where he asked Aaron Nola what it's like watching Ranger Suarez pitch. And Aaron Nola had a lot of really interesting things to say. In addition, some other cool statistics Matt threw into this article. Suarez is the first Philly pitcher since Robin Roberts in 1952 to win at least 9 consecutive starts. His ERA is the 3rd lowest by a Phillies pitcher in the first 10 starts of his season since earned runs became an official stat in the National League. Wild. Only Grover Alexander had better starts to a Phillies season, and those happened in 1915 and 1916.
Right. Over 100 years ago.
It's wild. So, this is baseball history. He is the first pitcher since Juan Marichal, who's Hall of Famer, great Negro League pitcher. Shout out Juan Marichal. in 1966 to go 9-0 or better with a sub-150 ERA in his 10 starts. So then Nola, this is the quote from Nola. What he's doing, I've never seen it before, especially on the same team. The way he commands all his pitches to both sides of the plate, he always has an out when guys are on base. He always has a pitch. So, Nola said he's got 5 strikeout pitches when he's getting 0-1, 0-2, 1-2, which he has a lot this year. That makes a difference. He's not walking guys. You can't sit on anything. You can't sit on location. You can't sit on a pitch because all of those pitches, he's got all those pitches for strikeouts. So yeah, I mean, he just has batters so off balance.
Yeah, and like
they don't know where to
average,
swing.
And it's interesting because like his average velocity has been a tick down this year, but the movement on his pitches have been so good
Nuts.
that it makes up for it.
I haven't seen his curveball this
so
good.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew his cutter. I will say too, I think his cutter is probably the best that I've seen him since he came into the league. His curveball is killing it. His fastball is what it is, but like you said, with all that movement, you don't have to have it 102. You don't have to have a heater.
Right.
You just put it. You're used to they're used to them balls falling off a sink, and he's putting that thing right where he wants it.
I love seeing a guy like that, especially since the trend in MLB has been just people throwing the ball as hard as they fucking can.
Yeah.
And we got a guy that doesn't need to do that. And is just, he's very very old school.
It's not sustainable to throw at 102 for a whole season.
That's why you see these dudes getting Tommy John.
Yeah, you don't have to worry
about.
I'm not as worried about Ranger blowing out his elbow.
This man's out here painting the Mona Lisa every night. I mean, he's painting these corners.
His location's so good, man.
Impeccable. And it's funny watching this Rangers series, too, because he was throwing out Trevor, I don't know what his last name is, but they're like leadoff hitter, 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. And he had come into the game with a hitting streak.
You're talking about Travis Jankowski?
No.
Marcus Simeon. He's a good hitter.
Yeah, but he was striking out whoever it was, but still and he would look at the umpire and be like, "No, that's not a strike." It's like, no, it was right in the top corner. Not even a guess of it.
No, his location's on point, dude.
I think before he got hurt last year, he was on a pretty hot streak as well. Maybe not obviously as good as this right here, but I was like, damn, he's looking pretty good. But
I believe he's 3rd in Cy Young odds right now, with Wheeler still number 1.
He's creeping up. I think Wheeler's probably going. Wild. I think Wheeler's probably dropping. Not because he's bad, but
he's not better than
just Rangers out here wheeling the deal. I mean, he's killing it. It's unreal what he's doing. And I think after that Marlins game when he had those 2 unearned runs, which maybe got lucky because there were some errors and things like that, he came out and he looked pissed off last night, and he killed it 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
No, he's meant business.
And 103 pitches again, or 108, whatever it is.
Yeah. Just let him go 7. It was an easy 7 for the most part. Till the end, the last inning, he got a little fatigued, but he still got through it. So you also seen Chase Utley was in town.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Jim Salisbury, formerly of NBC Sports Philly, does some writing for PHLY now. He interviewed Utley and asked him a lot of stuff, right? So he started asking Utley about how this team compares to the 2011 team. Utley had some cool stuff to say, yo.
Hell yeah.
So this is from the article. So this is just Salisbury. I'll let you know when I'm quoting Utley. But like the 2011 Phillies, the 2024 Phillies have a vaunted starting pitching staff. Back then, Roy Halladay and Cliff Lee led a staff that recorded a major league best 2.86 ERA. That staff turned into major's best 108 quality starts, 67%. Halladay went 19-6 with a 2.35 ERA in 32 starts and finished second in the NL Cy Young voting. Lee went 17-8 with a 2.40 ERA in 32 starts and finished third in the Cy Young race. This is entering last Thursday, but entering Thursday, the 2024 staff led the NL and was second in the majors with an ERA of 2.60. They had a major league best and second in majors, or a league best and second in majors, 25 quality starts, 57% over the first 44 games. There's a long way to go in this season's Cy Young race, but if it ended today, Ranger Suarez would finish in the money with Zach Wheeler not far behind, as we said. Like the rest of us, Utley sees some Halladay and Wheeler and some Lee and Suarez.
Yeah.
It's cool, right? So, as far as dominance, this is Utley talking now. As far as dominance, yeah, he said the Wheeler-Halladay comp. Obviously, big arm, another guy in the big moments. You can't really tell if it's a big moment or just a normal moment, but you can't really teach that. It's something you inherently have on your own. That's him talking about Wheeler, obviously. Like Lee, Suarez is a lefty with a low pulse, who can dot the strike zone with precision. They don't look like they're too phased. At least watching Ranger last night and watching him pitch in the postseason, I at least said, looked like it was just a Tuesday night game, not necessarily the postseason, which again, you can't teach. So you'd like to have that on your team, and hopefully they can rub off on other guys. So, like, this is Chase Utley, who played behind these guys, saying, like, yeah, they're every bit as good right now as Halladay and, like, Lee.
I mean, the proof's in the pudding. And Ranger is that, like, very swagged out, calm, cool, collective guy. I mean, that's why...
He reminds me so much of Lee with his demeanor on the mound.
He got his claim to fame in the postseason 2 years ago when he was just the man. I mean, every game he pitched, he won, which was great. You know what I mean? And you're seeing it this season where he just... I don't know if he's got a chip on his shoulder or what, or he wants to prove himself or something, but when he goes on the mound, and Wheeler's great too, but I think Wheeler's more laid back. Not in the sense that he's not as calm as Suarez is on the mound, but he presents himself more laid back and a casual player. Ranger has more of a confident coolness to him that makes him more laid back in a way that, you know what I mean? Like, he's out there on the mound, like, he's going to dominate your ass, but he's going to do it on his pace at a very low heart rate.
Exactly how Lee used to do it.
Yeah, you know, where Wheeler... You know, he's calm because he knows he'll get you with the fastball or whatever he can do, and no big deal. And, you know, we'll see what happens there. But Ranger's on some shit right now where he might go 12-0 before he loses a game.
I mean, their schedule's still pretty easy coming up. You very well could.
I mean, you know, you're going to get teams that want to, you know, you got a target on your back. Now, everyone's going to get tired of hearing about, the Phillies haven't lost back-to-back games. They haven't lost a series since April or whatever. Like, people are going to start
teams are going to get up to
putting their best at us, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's just incredible. It honestly is incredible.
Yeah, let's get that. Just about wrap up the Phils.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't got much else. They got the Rockies this weekend. Rockies are butt.
Colorado.
But then they got San Francisco, which has been a house of horrors. If they can win a series in San Francisco,
they're always bad.
I will be so thrilled.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
We shall see.
But I guess we can check in on the Flyers. Probably the most exciting off-season team right now, I guess, with the Michkov stuff.
Yeah, Michkov Mania.
Yeah, it's heating up. The hot stove is getting hot. You know, more reports now that are... I mean, I think there was one article that pretty much came out and said that he's expected to continue his career in Philly next year.
Yeah, what do you call it? This was from... Sports Express in Russia reports that this was May 19th. Sports Express in Russia reports that Michkov will continue his career in Philadelphia and his sky rights will be terminated.
Yeah. And it sounds like they're sort of in negotiations with it now. Like, he basically... I guess the way it's going to work is, like, Michkov has to sort of buy himself out of the contract, like, between him and his agent and all that kind of stuff. And then heard, like, it was going to be a figure, like, $400,000.
He's going to make more than that.
Yeah.
Coming
and
here.
So, and I guess basically the deal is, like, the Flyers can't be directly involved. Like, they can't just, like, provide that money. However, if he does this, they can get, they can put, like, performance bonuses in his entry-level contract to basically make up for it. Like, you know, if you play X amount of games,
if you score 5 goals.
Yeah,
they'll just make it the easiest incentives to bring
and so you'll get that money back. So that shouldn't be an issue. But yeah, I mean, you know, I think last time we talked about this, I said I thought he would play one more year in the KHL and then come over. But now it's starting to sound like he's actually going to come over. You know, fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx it or anything, but you know, anything could happen.
Yo, he trying to come over. There was that video of him working out on Instagram with a Flyer shirt.
Yeah.
Doing his deadlifts.
Yeah, I love all the meticulous analyzing of, like, oh, he's working out in a Flyer jersey. And then,
today he's wearing a Ska shirt.
Yeah. And then there's like, oh, he's wearing the other shirt. That. Oh, it's not good. But, yeah. And I know another thing that I saw, I think it was actually, I was listening to the PHL and Charlie O'Connor was mentioning that the guy, their coach, was asked about...
I got that here too.
Demidov, who's going to be drafted probably top 5 in this upcoming NHL draft. And he has, you know... Or wait, actually, it wasn't him. It was a different... It's like a defenseman they have. It was
what is homie's
name?
The
defenseman with the Canes.
Yeah, I forget what homie's name is. I was listening to this episode too.
Nish something or other.
Yeah.
But anyway, they were asked about him, and there was like, oh no, he's not coming over until his contract's up. Like,
it's not and they said it's not a Michkov situation.
Yeah, so that tells you that they view these different, and it doesn't sound like it's all just a bunch of smoke with Michkov. It sounds like they're actually serious about letting him go. So, hey man,
Spasiba. We'll see.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's Russian. Man, you had that whole fucking national anthem.
I don't know any words.
Trevor don't know any Russian. He's a fraud, yo.
Yeah. I'm just a outside admirer.
But yeah, Hockey News Hub. You follow that account on Twitter?
I see some of their shit about this, yeah.
I was on there today. They like post daily updates about the Michkov contract. As of 12, probably 13 hours ago at this point, they said Michkov's contract with SKA is still valid, but that situation could change like at any minute. So I have a feeling one day we're just gonna like wake up, or like we're just gonna have this news pop that like, yeah, it's terminated.
Yeah,
he's coming over.
It sounds like it. And I'm trying to think of how this is gonna change the 2 to 3 year outlook on what they're doing. I mean,
I wouldn't change it that much.
No, I don't. I don't think they really can, because they still have, not a great cap situation. I mean, it's fine for them like rebuilding, but if they were, they can't just like turn around and try to sign a bunch of guys and really put their foot on the gas, because they have been taking on some bad contracts and trades to get more value, because they can afford to do that right now. And originally I was thinking, like, as cool as it would be to have Michkov, I don't know if, maybe it would be fine for him to spend another year there so we can have another shot at draft pick. But then, like, I think about it, and I don't think, as good as he is, he's still not a finished product, and, the Flyers could still be very bad next year, even with him. I mean, the Blackhawks had Bedard playing for him this year, and they had the second worst record.
They had a
in the
way
league.
Worse roster around him than the Flyers will have
That's
around
true.
Michkov, though.
But the Flyers could still offload some guys in the offseason. We'll see how it goes. But
I say bring him over, man. Let him get some NHL experience.
Yeah,
like
they don't have to worry about really trying to put like a contending roster together or whatever. They still got a year or two to figure it out.
This year, and they almost made the playoffs. And
yeah.
Even if like it'd probably be better for them to lose some games, bring him over. Let him get like into like a playoff race. Let Michkov get some playoff type experience, even if we don't make the playoffs. Like compete, contend, like play the NHL game, learn the ropes. Get to learn the city, right? Get to learn the language. There's a lot of stuff like he's going to have to learn sooner or later. Let him come over now. Let him do it.
Yeah.
He's like, Wooder, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, that would be funny if we learned how to say Wooder.
That would rule if he just starts...
Just has a deep Philly accent.
Yeah, whenever he speaks English, he just sounds like some guy from the Northeast or whatever.
Well, if he needs an interpreter, sign me up, baby. Here we go. Yeah, what?
Yeah. But, yeah.
He just has a Newport behind his ear. He's like, yeah, what up, dickheads? You're like, oh, my God. Whoa.
What do you make of Kolosov wanting to go home?
I don't know. I don't think it's really much of a story right now. I mean, he was only here for like a couple weeks, so it's not like he's had time to really get assimilated. I'm not worried about it. I mean, he can't just go back to the KHL. He's under contract here.
Yeah.
Like, they could be like, sorry, you're playing here.
Now, I think about that NBA clip where they're like, soft, pretty boy,
Yeah.
a bitch. I'm about to go home, bitch.
So here's the deal, right? Like, I was all aboard with that. I was like, why does he want to go home? He's in the NHL. He's about to be. But Chris Craig, shout out Chris Craig, by the way.
Big time.
When we were at the gym picking people up in front of our state rep, for whatever, we can talk about it later. But yeah, so me and him were talking, and I was like, yeah, what's up with Kolosov? He's like, dude, homie was living in the Lehigh Valley. What is there to do for a 19-year-old Russian guy and a kid in the Lehigh Valley?
Yeah.
Well,
right? Like, he's probably bored. Like, it's not like he's in Philly where he can go out. Like, what are you going to do in, like, Lancaster, right? Or Scranton. Like, you ain't doing anything. So I think, yeah, he's going to miss home because he's just sitting in an apartment, bored by himself, doesn't speak the language, like, no friends, really. Like, of course he's going to want to go home. So I think contractually he has to be back, but I think he'll be back once he gets a taste of home. And once he's in Philly, he gets to, like, see the city and be around, like, city folk and be around his teammates that he can communicate with a little bit more. Granted, I don't know how many players the Flyers have from Belarus, but he'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm not too worried long term.
Nah, he'll be all right. Chris Craig talked me into thinking, yeah, I'd be lonely too if I was a 19-year-old in a new country in an apartment in the middle of nowhere. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
I don't know. Some bitch-ass energy right there.
Damn, you are not a fan.
I mean, I don't really have no contacts at all. I'm just, shooting from the hip over here.
Yeah, whatever. He'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be all right.
Damn, so he's homesick. What a fucking bitch. What? Anyway.
Let's take you and put you in Belarus.
Put you in the middle of Siberia. See how you do.
You would thrive.
I don't think so.
I'd be cold.
You by yourself in a country where you don't speak the same language.
Yeah.
In the middle of nowhere.
Sure.
You wouldn't thrive. You'd be like,
I would find a job. I would just do my thing.
You would miss everything. You'd miss the pod. You'd be missing ribs, cheesesteaks.
Right, how much is this guy making?
He's eating borscht.
I don't think he's making that much.
What was he making before that?
On a Phantoms contract, how much do you think he's making?
I mean, probably like 100K, a couple 100K.
And what was he making before that when he was in
probably
Belarus?
Less than that.
Right.
I mean, he was like 16.
Well, I'm just saying, if I'm in that situation, not right now. If you remove me,
ain't that much
remove me now, I'm saying
it's
though,
probably
if
a little
this
more.
man,
I guess he is on an entry level contract.
If this man was trying to make it
maybe?
Do whatever, I don't know. The U.S. dollars, but what are they on in Belarus? Is that the euro or is that?
Probably, I would think I don't know.
I don't know.
See, we
don't even know much about Belarus.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm just saying, man, I don't think you would thrive in a new setting where you don't speak the language. You're all there by yourself.
And you'd be surprised.
We gotta start a GoFundMe to send Pat to Belarus.
Yeah. Hold up, listeners, viewers.
Yeah, let's get
that going, yo.
Put that max contract together. I'll be out in a minute.
Yeah, we'll send Pat to Belarus for 6 months. He'll. It's like then we'll have to replace him for 6 months. That might be.
I'm out there
tough.
on some international kickball team.
Yeah, you can zoom in.
Yeah,
Pat will zoom in from Belarus every week.
Hello. Yeah.
Like being like ice fishing or whatever.
Hell, see what? I can do that
is cold.
shit. Is it? Where is Belarus?
I mean, it's like next to Russia, I guess.
Oh, it's like Belarus. It's like the lower Russia.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the next.
I think it's next to the Ukraine. I'll just hop the fence. I'll call it a day.
Yeah, you're gonna
go
join the reserves.
Yeah, maybe not. I'm not built for that kind of shit, but I'm more.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm more of like a locker room guy. I'm like, all right, guys, get out there. You got it.
Yeah, like hype up the guys before they get bombed into oblivion.
Yeah,
you'd be Ukraine's version of campaign.
Yeah, but I'm like a cockroach. I find a way. You can't quite put me down. I'm just always there. They're like, oh my God, is that Pat on fucking the news real quick? I'm like in the background like, oh my God, what a crazy week that shit was. They're like, where'd you get Miller Lite over here? I'm like, I got a guy. I just found to figure it out.
Yeah, well, I guess that's about it for the Flyers. Do you want to go to talk a little OTAs? I don't really have much on this, but I don't know if you guys been following.
Yeah, I've been following.
First few days of OTAs.
Yeah, I will say this, though, wind it back real quick. When you said the most exciting off-season news, I mean, not for nothing. I think watching Saquon Barkley out there with Jalen Hurts is a little bit more exciting than this Russian drama, which is exciting for sure. Yeah. But the potential is way more present with the Eagles than it is with the Flyers.
It's the most hyped prospect since Lindros.
And that's great.
It's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's bigger than Giroux. Yeah.
It's bigger than a, kind of older, but elite running back.
I understand your point. However, I feel like hockey has a long way to come up in Philadelphia right now in terms of excitement value. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, OTAs are back. They look good. It was good to see everybody out there running around, looking pretty decent.
Yeah, what do you make of a couple things, actually? So, Bradbury wasn't there.
Yeah.
I mean,
really
read the fucking room.
Yeah, he's got the foot out the door.
Yeah, I think they're just probably.
They don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah, they're looking for a deal.
Big time.
And then the other thing, so Isaiah Rodgers getting first
team reps.
Yeah.
He getting first team snaps over Quinyon Mitchell. What you think of that?
I think it's warranted. I mean, I think that, you know,
he looked good, apparently.
I mean, he's only, in his actual second year of play?
I think it's third.
Third year of play. So, I mean, might be his third year. I think it's only his second year, though, of actually playing because he was suspended last year.
No, I think it's his third year of play, and it's his fourth year total.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. You had a risky kind of pickup, I guess, when he had that weird deal go down with the gambling shit. So he has to prove his worth. You know, it was they touted it as a steal. So let's see what he can do.
He was a pretty good player before. And, I mean, I guess you figure, like, you know, the rookies, you kind of want them to earn their spot, and it's just OTAs. You know, they'll have plenty of time in training camp to move on up the depth chart if they prove themselves. You know.
I also like that A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith are there, too, so you're not, like, in OTAs playing against
Devontae wasn't.
They're not Devontae, but A.J. Brown,
A.J. Brown was there.
Still, I mean, you're not going against, like, fucking you or me out there. Like, you're going against a guy that you're going to see.
He was going up against A.J. Brown a good bit, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's fine. I also think that at the same time, they're slowing down on the sense of instant rookie starters. I mean, you're seeing that with quarterbacks, you're seeing that with running backs and some receivers here and there as well, where I think it's okay to have them earn their spot, like you're saying, Trevor, instead of just throwing them right into the wolves and see what happens. New defensive coordinator, new scheme. You know, it's a long season to go from playing in college to then the combine, the whole draft process, and then go to OTAs and all that shit, new city, you know, talk about homesick, whatever. I'm just saying, you got all kind of shit happening. It's also the first week or two. Like, I don't think it's any kind of
I don't think it's a long-term thing.
Could be more of a mental game than it is an actual, like, you could just sit behind Isaiah Rodgers. But Isaiah Rodgers could also pull it off and be a great find, too.
Yeah. Yeah, which would be a really sneaky good find on Howie's part. But I think the thing that this illustrates to me the most is just how far we've come in terms of cornerback depth in a matter of a few months.
Now we're overloaded. Yeah.
It's like Cooper DeJean, apparently he was playing left corner, right corner, slot, and safety. He was playing all over the place, right? You have Avonte Maddox, he's playing nickel and safety, assuming he makes the team, if he makes the team.
Assuming he's healthy.
That too.
Dickhead.
Like, you have a bunch of depth and a bunch of guys that are versatile that can do a bunch of different things, whereas last year, like, we didn't have any of that. And I think that's part of the reason why last year fell apart the way that it did.
And youthfulness. I mean,
right, yeah.
Despite, what did Carter say, too, on the interview? He's like, despite Brandon Graham and Sweat, which is funny to put him in the same conversation, like, the team on defense and Slay, I don't want to count Bradbury, is pretty young on the defensive end.
Yeah.
I mean, they're all young. I mean, Reed Blankenship is a young cat. I mean, they're all youthful.
Yeah, everyone other than Slayer, yeah.
Right. I mean, you can name on one hand the guys that are pretty much old for a professional athlete right now in football, which 2 years ago, even last year, we were the other way around.
I'd be curious, like, every year, like, the NFL will come out with, like, the average ages of teams, and the Eagles for the past few years have been up there. This year, I feel like they got way younger with Kelsey retiring.
Yeah.
Cox retiring.
I mean, it hurt to see Hassan go, but
Hassan wasn't even that old, but Bradbury getting cut, right?
Yeah.
Like that lowers the age a little bit. So, yeah, we're going to be a lot younger, a lot more energetic, a lot more spry. We got...
Kevin Byer was back there last year. He was an old cat.
Yeah, he was old. Yeah,
so I like it. I'm into it. I think this is all just kind of mental brain games. I've heard a lot of good things. Jalen Carter was out working out in Miami this offseason and worked out with a lot of Miami defensive players, and he was like, yeah, people say good things about Vic, so he's old school. Carter also looked good. I think he looked trimmed. He lost some weight. He got more fit. They asked about his offseason regimen. He's like, I don't really do a whole lot of shit with my hands. I just wanted to get physically ready to play.
Yeah, probably a bunch of cardio.
Well, you figure that whole combine era and all that, like, you're just running hot since you get out of school. But the defense is what I'm most excited about. The offense, I mean, like I said before, we should all be able to coach that shit.
Well, here's the thing with the offense that apparently the people that were there, like the reporters that were there, said they seen a lot more emotion.
Well, hello.
A lot more, like, not trick plays, but a lot more just, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
misdirection.
A lot more misdirection,
like
just like different looks.
Yeah.
I guess. Different formations, different looks.
I mean, if you cross the street, that'd be more motion than what we saw last year.
Right, but I mean, I think that's a good sign that Kellen Moore is already in, like, implementing some of his beliefs and his ideals, and Sirianni isn't sitting there like, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Like, Sirianni's like, all right, I never did it like this before, but hey, we brought this guy in for a reason. Let me just chill and do my thing. I think if he can continue to set his ego aside and not get too involved, even when things aren't going well, we'll be fine.
I think we took a big hit, though, with Devontae Parker retiring, though. I think that's going to hurt the team a little bit.
But then we got John Ross, dude.
I'm just messing. But yeah, John Ross is I think that for the third receiver to have, for that to be your guy, I think that's already a better person than Watkins would have been.
He serves the same purpose, but he should be better. He should be better.
Should be better, should be faster, better hands. I mean, with more motion. And it's a shame. I feel like Quez probably could have filled that role this year as well, but, game's a game and things happen that way. But if you have more motion, you have a better running back core right now. We'll see what the O-line can do with all the adjustments with Kelsey out now. But you put a guy like John Ross out there in motion too, that could be a dangerous little dump off or a deep ball over the top, whatever, because you got A.J. Brown could still torch some people. I mean, he hit 22 miles an hour in the summertime working out some people. The guy's still quick as shit, which is surprising for being a guy that's built like a linebacker.
He's just a beast.
You expect Devontae Smith to hit 22, not A.J. Brown.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Holy shit. I'm pumped. But it just felt good to see him out in pads, working out, being out on the team together. They're almost on the same mindset the Phillies were last year, where they're like, to start the season.
Business.
Yeah, they're all pissed off. Yeah. They're young. They're healthy. They had a bad taste in their mouth. They got new coaches. They're energized. And they're all focused on just getting to know each other, building that chemistry first, and seeing what it does. But I'm pumped for it. We'll see what happens. I like that Slay was there. That was a big pickup, I think.
Yeah, and that Slay, hey, man, he's got to mentor these young dudes. He said something to that effect. But, yeah, we got to talk about Jalen Hurts clapped that at Harrison Butker. Oh, yeah. Harrison Butker. So we didn't talk about that last week.
No,
we intended to.
No.
I don't have the Harrison Butker quotes.
Yeah, I think everyone knows the story by now.
Yeah, just the Chiefs kicker does not respect women, thinks women belong in the kitchen. I'm not saying...
Homemaker. They should be at home having babies and not doing anything else. Supporting their husbands, that's it.
He said he loved when his wife found her faith. I don't know, some other just like
joined
nonsense.
His faith. She wasn't even religious.
Yeah, she joined his faith.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a bunch of just stuff about how his wife
some Handmaid's Tale
completely subservient to him. It's just
not to mention it's like there's not that many people that can raise a family on one income anymore. It's
right.
That dream is over for the
vast majority of NFL player. That can actually happen. For you.
Right? If you make millions of dollars kicking a football, then sure you can have your wife.
So here's
if they want.
Here's the deal, man. I said this last week. Of all the NFL positions that you would expect a player to come out with those viewpoints, kicker and punter are the two that it's like most people always think of toxic masculinity though as this big burly dude. It's like big brawny man. It's like I'm the man. I'm the breadwinner. It's like most of the NFL offensive linemen and whatnot. Look at Jordan Mailata. He's up here singing like this on the Masked Singer and whatnot. Jordan Mailata is one of the biggest people in the NFL.
Yeah, because they have
not
confidence.
An ounce of top. Exactly.
They don't have to. They don't have any insecurities.
They're not insecure,
like these guys.
But you're a kicker.
Whereas this clown is insecure in his masculinity to the point that he just has to say I'm the man. My wife completely does everything for me. She converted to my faith. I love that she stays at home. It's like, dude, you got it all wrong in 2024, man. He needs to get the hell up out of here. I don't respect Harrison Butker worth a damn.
No, fuck that guy.
They're becoming such an unlikable team.
Yeah. I hate the Chiefs. I hated them last year.
Yeah, just no redeeming qualities.
This just drives the point even farther.
Yeah.
He's an asshole, dude.
Yeah. Bad. Bad.
So Hurts. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. T.O., that's me, yo. Hurts was like, yo, women are thrusted in positions women are thrusted into positions to have to overcome this.
I was like, oh, is it a 180 here?
And they lack the respect that they deserve. Hurt said at his team's women's football festival on Sunday, May 19th. He added, as those in the crowd cheered, "I'm here advocating for it not only in football, but in every situation. We all know the woman is the rock of everything."
Hell yeah.
That's my man.
Give
dude.
it up for the ladies.
Yeah.
That's my man, yo.
Yeah, man. He's a real deal. He didn't play around like that.
He's got an all-female management team,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
The biggest, at the time, I think it is still the biggest ever woman-led deal for an NFL player.
Or an agent, you mean?
Yeah.
Pretty sure it still is.
Yeah. You said player.
A woman-led deal for a player.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking quote me again.
You said, I thought you said a woman player.
No, a woman-led deal for a player.
Okay.
Yo, didn't Mahomes come to his defense?
Well, no, Mahomes was
I remember someone dug up an interview with him saying, like, I don't talk to him. I talk to him, like,
he's like, I don't condone that language.
Mahomes came.
He made it really like...
Well, this was like a earlier like someone dug up this someone interviewing Mahomes asking about Harrison Butker. This is from like way before this whole thing came out. I don't know if it was this season or last season or whatever, but he said like, yeah, we don't really talk. And at the time it was kind of in like a joking way. It was like, yeah, we talk like before the season, and then like after the season's over, that's about it. Like,
now Mahomes is steady on that train, probably.
Yeah.
Well, Andy Reid can't help. I mean, his Mormon ass probably saying some weird shit too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Although Andy Reid, like, I don't know.
You don't know. He didn't say a lot, but you know, I mean, what is behind the curtain? You never know.
Yeah, I feel like Mahomes said something about this recently.
You're also in Kansas City, Missouri. Like, you're out there in the country. You're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh, here's what Mahomes said. Of course, Mahomes is the
political answer, I'm sure.
I didn't agree with... It's like, I can't do the voice. He said, I didn't agree with all of Harrison Butker's speech comments, but he's a quote-unquote good person.
He's a good person.
Oof. Yeah,
oh,
I don't know.
Man, Mahomes, man, this is your one chance to bury him, dude.
And you can honestly move on from a fucking
it's
kicker.
Not like you can't, I don't know.
It's not your leading receiver or tight end.
We're not talking Adam Vinatieri or Dave Akers,
It's also, even still, it's not Chris Jones. It's not like a guy that's going to win you the game in that sense. You can find a fucking kicker.
Yeah, Mahomes, man.
You can figure it out.
Yeah.
You need to get off that Uncle Tom BS, yo.
Dumb. It's
like, I guess maybe it isn't Uncle Tom because he's half black and half white, but whatever. Anyway, I digress. So we got to move on. I'm saying things I probably shouldn't be saying. What about Vic Fangio rocking a hoodie in 85-degree weather? You seen that?
He's an OTA too. You got to slim some weight. Got to get down to camp weight.
Who's rocking a hoodie in 85 degrees?
He got
old people.
He got to cut weight.
He's not that old. He's 65.
Yeah,
his mom's old though.
Yeah, his mom's probably damn near 90. She's probably damn near 100.
So.
She's probably Dean's grandmom's age.
2 hours up north. His kids are 2 hours down south.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can catch him at the Palladium. That's what he said.
Yeah, I'll go to the Palladium with Vic, yo.
He said, "I was here 40."
What do you think he orders from there?
I've never been there. What kind of?
I would dream of him ordering just some wings and a cold Miller Lite.
He's probably getting a chicken parm, yo.
I don't know.
It's like, an Italian man, he ain't getting chicken parm out.
He said 40 years ago when he worked at the vet, he would go there.
Chicken parm. What?
40 years ago, he said he went to the Palladium like that. But I'm sure he's ordering just a nice cold, light draft beer.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just projecting myself on him, but probably.
I guess he probably does drink.
That's why he's in the hoodie right now. He's got to get down to camp. You got to get ready to roll for the season.
He probably got chunky during the holiday season. That's true. Fair enough.
Slim down a little bit, get some sweat off, cut some weight.
No, Vic Fangio is the man. Yeah, I like a Vic Fangio. You've seen Jalen Carter was like, yeah, I love Vic. It's like I love an old school coach.
Carter looked really good.
Yeah.
I want to see Jordan Davis though. He had to have lost.
Apparently, he lost some weight. People were saying
needs to be 25 to 30 pounds.
Total, just 25. He needs to be emaciated.
No, he'll be fine. He was almost damn near 400 pounds.
He needs to weigh as much as a medium-sized dog.
Could you imagine?
If the dog was a cow, I mean, he just needs to lose 20 pounds to lose fat and gain it somewhat in muscle.
If a dog was a cow, that could be a good song.
Say no more.
Was a cow, That'd be a good metal song, yo.
Hell yeah. Cha-Cha could sing that shit.
Write that down.
Yo, hell
If a dog was a cow.
Damn. Yo, I should ask her to be the vocalist for my band.
She would kill it. She'd be out there.
Yeah, that'd be some good backing vocals.
Is this shit live, sweetie?
Oh, she'd be the live singer. Or the front woman.
Yeah.
She'd be the main vocalist, if you will. But anyway, if a dog was a cow. It's like, I don't really have anything else on the Eagles, I don't think.
I mean, that's about it.
Yeah.
You know? Is there anything, do we have anything to say about the Sixers?
There's some rumors afloat,
Some
yo.
rumors.
I keep hearing a lot of things about the Sixers are on the books to make a push like the Warriors did to get KD.
Really? I haven't heard that
They
at all.
made,
Okay.
not that we're getting KD, but like the fact that like the 16 or 14 or 15, whatever it was.
I've heard...
The way that they moved around their cap space to sign a big superstar that no one expected them to bring in, the Sixers with Daryl Morey are primed to potentially make a push like that for somebody. Whether that's LeBron or Paul George, somebody, they're willing to, make the championship push, give up picks, give up money.
Yeah, that I've heard.
All that stuff for someone like that, which I feel like we've heard the last couple of weeks. You know what I mean? But I haven't heard anything else beyond that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there was this big article, Jake Fisher covers the NBA for Yahoo Sports, had this long article today. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he kind of said the Sixers are willing to spend future money and sacrifice draft capital in the name of chasing next year's title. Paul George has been on Morey's radar since the executive's time running the Rockets, when Houston personnel were more than aware of George's affinity for ending up in LA, blah, 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 blah. Will an optimal fit on paper be enough to persuade George to abandon all that for Philadelphia or somewhere else? George has never played in a market so demanding of its players, particularly those who've been given massive paydays. Harden, Ben Simmons, and Tobias Harris can cite plenty of first-hand examples of the situation. So yeah, I mean, this is essentially saying the Sixers are going to sell the farm for Paul George. It's like, yeah, is that the right move to make? I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, at that point, then if we're talking about bringing in a guy for banking off their mental state, playing in a big scene like that, then I'd rather have LeBron. As old as he could be, he won't break for that.
Yeah, if we're going to have to worry about Paul George being scared, no.
I know LeBron won't get fazed by the crowd yelling at his ass. He'll be okay with that. But I don't need to bring in a guy like that for that money and all those picks and all that farm system to, like, crumble under the pressure of Philadelphia.
So this article said LeBron's almost assuredly staying in LA.
Well, I think that makes sense. I mean, I'm not saying that we could get him, but I feel like I would rather have LeBron than Paul George.
Yeah, I mean, if Paul George is going to be scared to play here, that doesn't work. But this article also said, here's what I think is going to happen, because Shams Charania for the Athletic and Stadium or whatever that is, said all signs are pointing to George staying, and the Sixers might be used as leverage to get George more money.
That sounds about right.
I mean, it's what happened with LeBron in 2017, 18,
exactly.
Whenever that was. But so, I think, really bad feeling, we're going to have to settle for plan B, D, B, C, D, and E.
Which is what we're doing every...
So this article goes on to say that, right? So it says, in the event Philly is unable to land a big fish this summer, look for the Sixers to flush out their roster with similar non-guaranteed money as of the past season's approach. Philly, sources said, will prioritize being nimble with salaries in order to move whenever the next disgruntled star becomes available. Rival executives around the league are both applauding Minnesota and Boston starry team builds, but optimistic both the Wolves and Celtics will be unable to keep all their top pieces in place. The deeper NBA wades into this new second apron era, which is like the CBA term nonsense. The Sixers, sources said, took note of Indiana's 2-year splurge for Bruce Brown that then became the biggest salary headed back to Toronto in exchange for Siakam. Veteran wings like Klay Thompson, no, don't want him, and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope would fall on the Sixers list of targets for similar 1+1 contracts. Striking out on a big-time wing would also leave the door open for Philadelphia to consider taking back a player such as Zach LaVine. Absolutely not. This is me editorializing. Yeah. Sources said, in the event Chicago or another team is willing to attach draft capital to move off salary, Kyle Kuzma, hell no. No. will be another advanced wing player on the trade market, though Washington's asking price for the vet scorer prior to February's trade deadline is too rich for most rival teams. So, basically what that's saying is, if they don't get George or Butler or Ingram or any of these cats, they're just going to do the same thing they did this year. We're going to end up with a bunch of Buddy Hields guys on like expiring and 1-year deals, and we're just going to punt till next season. It's stupid. Yeah. That's asinine.
Unless you somehow, I mean, a lot of those guys,
lot
of those guys when they left though, like Buddy Hield and Batum wanted to come back. I mean, everybody says that too when you leave after a disappointing playoff run, but I feel like if they really meant that, and we have the money of, okay, we can't bring in Paul George like a big, a white elephant, so to speak, then you find a way to bring back the guys that actually produce in the playoffs. Kelly Oubre, not the sexiest bring back. Well, physically, yes, but not playing-wise. Yeah. But, yeah, bring that beautiful man back to Philadelphia. He loves it here. He did well, Already killed the pimp that hit him with his car, so that's okay. You bring back Buddy Hield, which I'm not going to lie, I think when we brought him in, the potential was really high, and Bede got hurt. Everyone else kind of got hurt too, and we didn't really get to see his potential with the team. And, he transitioned. I'm sure it was off, a different dynamic compared to how fast the Pacers play. I would love to have him back, to be honest with you. I think you bring back those pieces that can play together and have that continuity again would go a long way. Giving Maxey and Embiid and the shitty core that you have with everybody gone now, you're rebuilding again. You're not a championship caliber team if every season you have Embiid and Maxey with a whole different starting five.
Right.
That's not
Embiid said this.
That ain't it.
Yeah.
So bring back the guys as much as we might be able to be like, Batum's old or Buddy Hield isn't consistent or whatever. At least we'll have a second year with those guys instead of bringing in a beat-up Butler or a Paul George who can't handle the fucking heat of Philadelphia after being in cushy LA for a year. I mean, what other options do you have? And Daryl Morey said it on his own last year that this is a big year for him. His job's on the line. I'm going to make it sure that we build a team around Embiid this season. That's why we didn't bring back Harden. I'm saving my cap and all this stuff to build a championship caliber team this season. So if you don't hit home, get the fuck out of Philadelphia then. Dude, throw him off the fucking Betsy Ross. Call it a day with some cinder blocks on the feet.
Yeah, I don't have great feelings about any of this. I think Daryl Morey put too many eggs in the cap space basket when we could have had OG last year. The article did say that OG to New York isn't a guarantee. In which case, if we can get him for the right deal, then bring him in now. But
Daryl Morey hasn't given us any trust in his GM ability at all, to be honest with you.
He's made some good trades. He's made some bad ones.
Good doesn't cut championship caliber team.
No, yeah.
He hasn't made any great moves since being here.
I beg to differ.
Go for it.
Getting off Ben Simmons.
Oh my God! Fine. Okay.
No, to get James Harden, who was still pretty valuable.
But in the long term, that still fucked us up, though. In the long term, he didn't keep him around. This is hinged upon
keeping Ben Simmons would have debilitated the team even more. He dumped Ben
Simmons, kept James Harden, anticipated. We all thought we would keep him. He's dumped now Harden. If we lose,
he got a bunch of stuff for him.
A bunch of picks and shit.
I don't think that was a great. I don't think it was.
Here's the. Dude, you forget Horford was still on the team when we
he
hired
had
Daryl
a pretty
Morey.
Awful set of cards when he came
got
in.
Horford and Josh Richardson. He turned into Seth Curry and picks, which that pick, I think, indirectly became Maxey. Sure,
okay.
So, he's done... don't get me wrong. If he fails, I'll be the first one to say get him out of Philly. But, he's made some decent moves, and we kind of just have to trust him. I don't feel good about trusting him.
I don't trust him.
But nah, man, we'll see. I think if we can get OG, if we could steal him from the Knicks,
that would be really
that'd be cool. OG fills a lot of holes. Think of it like this: he would probably make about the same as Tobias made this year, but he's a way more useful player. He's willing to shoot threes and can shoot them. He can grab a rebound. He hustles. This is one of the best defenders. He can guard 1 through 5. We saw him guard Maxey and Embiid in the same series. He fills a lot of holes. I don't want to give up everything for him, but if you can get him for the right price, then Morey could redeem himself. But
this is his offseason to do that.
Yeah, he has to.
One good year does not offset.
If he doesn't get it right this year, then
Right. That's what I'm saying.
If we come in here September and we're recording this pod and
we haven't done shit.
We don't have Paul George, Jimmy Butler, OG, hell, Brandon Ingram. If we don't have any of these guys,
right,
and we have a bunch of guys on 1-year deals that we're just going to try the cap space game again, I will say on this pod we should fire Morey.
Yeah. Sounds about right to me.
Oh, and also, I was going to get into Maxey winning the Sportsmanship Award.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I mean, come on now.
I don't think that's a good thing, but I think it is at the same time. Here's the deal, right? He won it because he wasn't crying for calls that he deserved.
Yeah.
Right? That's a problem. But also, I think it's a good thing because guys will be like free agents, not the like big name free agents, but like the vet minimum guys will be like, yeah, I want to play with the most improved player in the league and a former MVP and a guy that like
selfless.
Yeah, loves his teammates and loves the game. Like I want to play with him. So it's a double-edged sword. I would get into it more, but I know we're up against it.
Yeah.
Last NBA thing, or last Sixers related thing. Yo, shout out TJ McConnell. Yo, he's been balling. He's been balling his ass off, yo.
Yeah. Should have kept.
He look great right now. Are you checking the score of the Pacers game?
Pull it up real quick, yeah.
I think they're probably losing. I haven't checked.
Yeah, they weren't doing very good at
half.
They
lost.
Yeah.
By 16.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Not so good.
But TJ, 35 points. What the? Nah, I'm kidding.
How many points did he have? 9. Okay, he didn't do that great.
Yeah, but, if we had him, maybe we're playing that series right now.
Nah, well.
Probably not, but...
Yeah.
Replace Tobias with TJ McConnell.
Although I will say,
he probably would have been more useful.
Yeah, we did
different
honestly,
positions, but
in that series, you probably would have. Yeah, probably at that point.
I mean, there's a lot of people that if you just replaced
you could have been in there.
Yeah,
just don't shoot the ball.
I mean, that's like the other thing about all these, potential offseason targets, and a lot of them, I understand why people are maybe not so enthused about, but it's pretty much any of these guys. If you just replace them with Tobias, like we're probably.
We beat the Knicks.
We beat the Knicks. We probably beat the Pacers.
Yeah.
I don't think we would have beat the Pacers with a Gimpy Embiid.
But we beat the Knicks.
So we get eliminated in the second round the same way we do every year.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I mean, whatever.
Consistency, though.
Yo, very last Sixers thing. Writes to Ricky Sanchez, they brought this up. This will be the first year in Embiid's career that he does not have Jahlil Okafor or Tobias Harris on his team. He's been in the league 10 years.
Championship.
This is going to be the first year that he doesn't have dead weight tied to him.
Boom. Yeah. Championship season. Here we come.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
but
this is it.
It's all coming together now.
We're talking World Series. We're talking Super Bowl. We're talking NBA championship. We're talking Flyers playoff run.
Yeah.
We're talking Union.
It's all happening.
Doing their thing.
Doing whatever they do.
The only thing I feel really strongly about is World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, let's get it.
Eagles, we got a long way to go yet. I can't call it yet.
We don't know yet.
Yeah.
I gotta at least see some preseason, then I'll be back on. Nah, I'm calling. Nah, not yet. I call it.
Not your April 30th prediction last year?
No.
Yeah, but in other basketball news, did you see that the new Toronto WNBA team, I guess, had their big sort of like unveiling press conference thing, and in attendance was our boy Kyle Lowry and Drake.
Ew. Why?
And now there's
why was Lowry there?
I guess because he was in the
won the
Raptors for a
championship
while.
with
He's
them.
just a kind of Toronto royalty a little bit, but
he needs to be pushing for a Philly team.
But there's also speculation now that maybe Drake has a stake in the team, which would be funny if like he has part ownership there. Then Kendrick's gonna have to buy a WNBA team.
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
Well, now Kendrick will get part of the ownership of the Valkyries.
Oh yeah,
that's how that'll work.
Yeah,
they're gonna be from like Compton essentially.
Yeah.
Kendrick. Dude, that is absolutely gonna happen. If Drake has part of the ownership in the Toronto team, Kendrick's gonna be like, "Yo, let me get some ownership in that Valkyries."
That'd be a hell of an opening game against
Drake
each
will
other.
have 5%. Kendrick will be like, "Yo, let me get 10."
Yeah. We need Meek Mill to get a team here. I don't know if he's got that kind of cash.
That's the other thing too, right?
Just the principle, though. He will
Kyle
still be
Lowry's
around.
from here.
Yeah.
I guess Meek and Drake are cool now, But at one point,
they
they
used to
weren't
have a
cool.
beef. Yeah.
And Kyle Lowry's chilling with this clown.
Yeah.
Lame. I don't like it.
You know, like Drake's gonna be on his certified pedophile BS. They'll draft some young women, the Toronto team, some 20-year-olds. Drake will be all over that, yo.
Yeah.
Yo, for the record, if you couldn't tell, listeners, viewers, the Citywide Pod does not support Drake in any way, shape, or form. We're a pro Kendrick forum,
Big time.
a pro Meek forum, but not a pro Drake forum by any means.
Nah. Wouldn't have up with that Canadian shit.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. What else is going on? Antonio Brown's bankrupt.
Classic.
Yeah, not surprised.
Shocking news.
I'm surprised.
You are.
Nah.
Dude, it is wild. So, like, I think I have this article saved. He's got like 50 grand to his name.
Antonio Brown?
Saved? Yeah. Pretty sure I have this.
That's pretty wild.
That is nuts. That CTE,
Yeah, I'm trying
man.
to find the quote from this article. Because apparently CTESPN released a statement. I thought this was really funny. CTESPN. Yeah. This is from this article on The Athletic. CTESPN Network, Brown's media company, addressed the bankruptcy filing in a post on X, or Twitter, on Monday. NFL legend Antonio Brown has filed bankruptcy today. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer in 2027. Here's the best part. He will be releasing new music this summer.
Damn.
He's got an album.
Releasing new music.
He didn't win a Super Bowl, did he?
I don't
No.
think so.
First ballot, my fucking ass. No. Hell
People aren't
fucking
going to
no.
vote someone with this many character flaws.
He will not be in the Hall of Fame.
He might eventually get in. He's not a first ballot.
He won't be a first ballot. And at that point, okay, he'll be a guy that, like, after, like, 15, 20 years, okay, you put him in there. Like, it's not a first ballot, you made it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, like Jason Kelce, first ballot.
Exactly.
Travis Kelce, first ballot.
Right.
You know what I mean? Antonio Brown, maybe like a second or third, but...
I wish... But even... I will say, okay, maybe that was a hot take. Even if you're not a first ballot, I understand that there's like, certain things where if you're in a competitive era, it could be tough to get a first ballot if you're like, all the good safeties at that point, can't get in there. But Antonio Brown does not deserve to be in the Hall of Fame just for all the shit. He had a couple good years, no doubt about it. He was a phenomenal athlete, you know what I mean? Ocho Cinco was the same way, where he was a phenomenal athlete too, but he's not...
Is T.O. in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
He just got in there. Not a first ballot,
He
though.
wasn't, because people had issue with his
Was
character.
B-Dog a first ballot?
Yeah, B-Dog was.
Boom.
Yeah.
See, so then, yeah, never mind. I'm on that same train then. Yeah, if you're not a first ballot
T.O.
Hall of Famer-
wasn't, because people had an issue with his character concerns. He wasn't the one taking his shirt off and, like, storming off a field and, like...
No. But he's had historical games, at least in the Super Bowl, and crazy stats, and played next to Jerry Rice.
My point is T.O. was more deserving than Antonio Brown.
He wanted to win. He was crazy that way.
He wasn't a first ballot.
No. Antonio Brown, fuck that guy. Man, you're out. Crazy. Has them nasty-ass feet, too. Fuck that.
Don't talk about Caitlin Clark like that.
Oh, yeah. What? Also, I heard, though, that she's got some beef, though, on her team, apparently.
I did hear she was like, I mean, her team sucks.
Her team's ass, but apparently she showed up late to like a conference.
Well, her team's really bad, dude. I think her coach needs to get fired. Like I've watched.
They're not passing her the ball too.
I've watched a couple of these games. This coach is clueless. They have Caitlin Clark, obviously, but Aaliyah Boston's also a hooper. They don't use her at all.
They don't feed anybody the ball.
No, it's
Caitlin Clark's been wide open half the time, and like the ball's like just not anywhere near where it should be.
It's the life,
and they get blown out.
It's the life of a #1 draft pick in basketball. I mean, think about it.
That's the reason why
the
they got
Cavs sucked the first year LeBron went there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
people get all mad and upset about whatever, but
the Sixers were bad the first few years Embiid was here, right? Like it comes with the territory.
Yeah,
I mean,
I get that, but it's
bad coaching. Like, there's a reason a team gets a #1 draft pick. A lot of times it's lack of talent. A lot of times it's bad coaching. A lot of times it's bad front office.
Coaching, though,
in her case, I think it's all three.
That's just bad historical, like, references, though. Like, if you know that you have a guy, a person, not just guy in general, not a sex derivative to that, but you have anybody coming into the league after breaking the record for most points ever scored in college basketball, and you're not giving every chance on a shitty team to just feed that person to shoot, you're an idiot.
Well, like, I don't know. They have other weapons.
I'm okay with that, but the fact that they're not
they're aimless.
Right.
Right? It isn't, we're going to get Aaliyah Boston involved and Caitlin Clark. It's like we're just going to feed Caitlin Clark the ball or these other people the ball. We're not going to get Aaliyah Boston involved. And that's why they're bad.
They only feed her when they're getting blown out. They're like, oh, Caitlin Clark, 22 points, but she got 15 of those in the fucking fourth quarter.
Dude, I'm so annoyed, man. Like, I'm not the biggest Caitlin Clark stan in the world, but, like, I respect her game. I'm so annoyed. But your girl, Cameron Brink put up some blocks the other day.
Yeah.
She had 4 points, 8 rebounds, and, like, 5 blocks. She was hooping.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's tall.
Yeah. She's cute, too, but she's, like, 19, so, yeah, I'm not going there, obviously. I'm not Drake, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I think that's just going to about do it for us here tonight, everybody. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Send us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
Go Phils.